6:50 is the time this Wednesday. Back here with your Sunrise Smart Start and News 8, your local election headquarters. As results still coming in this morning, they do already show another very strong night for wins for Democrats throughout Monroe County. We will start with what we're hearing on the race for mayor of Rochester. Incumbent Malik Evans gets another term. He had a landslide victory against his opponent, Louis Sabo, on the conservative line. Evans was sworn in back in 2022, and he calls this a commitment once again to the future of Rochester. Some of the top priorities for his re-election bid this time around included expanding access to housing in the city, fighting the opioid crisis, boosting job opportunities, and working to bring down violence throughout the community. And we also heard from Sabo after the results came in, who's trying to stay positive.
Feeling fine. You know, it's the end of a campaign and a lot of sleepless nights, so maybe I'll get a good night's rest tonight. A lot to learn. You know, it's eyes wide open first time through, and you learn from the results what you can do better the next time around. Well, congratulations, Malik, and we'll come back at it another time.
In the race for Rochester City Council, there were 5 at-large seats up for grabs among 9 candidates. Kiara Kiki Smith garnered the most votes, with Stanley Martin right behind, current City Council President Miguel Melendez there, and Dr. LaShonda Leslie Smith. Victor Sanchez ran as a working families candidate, and Willie Lightfoot Kim Smith did not seek re-election. To Irondequoit and the top seat for the town there, supervisor. The projected winner, Democrat and current town board member John Perticone, defeating Republican challenger Anthony Costanza for the spot. Perticone will take over for current town supervisor Andre Evans, who ran a write-in campaign amid a turbulent year in town politics. Costanza did appear briefly at the Republican headquarters, but did not wish to speak to News 8. 2 open seats for the New York State Supreme Court with 4 candidates running here. The justices serve 14-year terms and handle cases in 8 counties for the 7th Judicial District. Democrats David Seguinza and Darius Lynn, Republicans Christina Carl and Joe D'Onofrio. The results there and also over at RochesterFirst.com. Ontario County is getting a new district attorney. That is Jason McBride with 76% of the vote. Bumping up there just a little bit this morning. And that's more than 6,200 voters in the county for the Republican. Jim Ritz, outgoing DA, pulled over 1,800 votes. He retired from the position last month, but he was still on the ballot despite stepping down pre-election. The only issue statewide for New Yorkers this year on the ballot is Prop 1, and that is a close one. It requires New York voters to approve continued use of preserved land in Essex County near Lake Placid. Numbers show majority of New Yorkers, again close, have voted yes. The complex is on land protected by the state constitution. Voting yes, as you see here, with 52%, would allow the complex to stay on the property, build new ski trails and other facilities, and expand the Adirondack Preserve. Voting no would have stopped the use of the land by the sports site. Again, we've got more local and state races all listed in one page over in our election guide and wrap-up at RochesterFirst.com. Some other headlines happening today. A man charged with murder after a deadly fight at Lush Swigs Lounge in Irondequoit will be arraigned. This homicide goes back to October. To walk us through this investigation so far, here's Aron Spitzer live downtown. Aron.
Brennan, on October 24th, Irondequoit police announced the arrest of 48-year-old Nuri Simmons, charged with second-degree murder. This in connection with the death of 30-year-old Charles Wilson Jr. Now, police say a fight in the early morning of October 5th led to Wilson's death. He was stabbed and crashed through a front glass window at the lounge. Officers at the scene tried to help him, but he died at the hospital. Later, police say body-worn camera footage is what led to a second arrest in the homicide investigation. The owner, 42-year-old Gabrielle Green, is charged with tampering with physical evidence after the homicide. Investigators say it shows how Green tried to cover up what happened. Following the homicide, investigators learned the lounge was operating without a proper liquor license. It has since been shut down. That arraignment this morning at 10 o'clock. For now, reporting, Aron Spitzer, News 8.
Thank you, Aron. A quick look at our sunrise traffic. Still have first responders on scene of a crash in Webster. That is at Holt Road and 104. Another issue causing some delays on the thruway. 90 westbound at 390 in Henrietta, still waiting to clear. We'll check that again at 7:25. All right, James, more time here about, yes, wind today, flakes next week.
Yeah, that's right. We'll be cold enough. Very chilly air pushes in. You see highs in the 30s, lows in the 20s, probably a lake effect variety. So I think the areas that actually see any accumulation of substance will be kind of those corridors, northern Wayne County up there, and maybe some spots east of Lake Erie. But a lot of us just flakes around, and I do think it'll build up on some grassy surfaces here and there.
All right, we'll have more about that as well as some stories from going out to vote yesterday on our podcast, Second Cup of Sunrise, 9 o'clock on the Rochester First streaming app, or just find the live stream link at the top of rochesterfirst.com. CBS Mornings on the way now at 7. We will be back on your TV at 7:25.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on rochesterfirst.com, Facebook, X, and on our app for news and weather. Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 on demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.